After getting home from work, I felt tired as usual, nothing special. I was used to the rhythm of life, and in a way I had come to appreciate it. The predictable daily routine, the simple act of settling in, and, of course, the time I had gained for myself. That night, as I was taking a shower, my own little ritual time, the warm water enveloped me, soothing every muscle, washing away the day. I closed my eyes and immersed myself in the feeling when I heard the door creak open. I thought it was just the house settling, a familiar sound I had long since ignored. But then I heard it again, the faintest sound of footsteps on the floor, followed by the unmistakable sound of the door closing behind him. My heart skipped a beat and I froze. That frozen feeling when you don't know if you're imagining things or if something real is actually happening. "I'm sorry," he said, his voice soft but with a distinct note of urgency. "I didn't mean to scare you." He was standing outside the shower curtain, barely visible to me, but his presence filled the space between us. My pulse quickened, not from fear but from the surprise of the moment. "I didn't know you were home," I answered, trying to steady my breathing. I stared at the steam, unsure whether to pretend everything was as usual or admit to the transformation that had taken place. He didn't respond immediately, and a short silence fell between us, unsure of what to say or do. But after a long moment he took a step closer. "I didn't mean to intrude," he spoke again much more calmly. "But I don't know. I just wanted to be near you." The words hung in the air like a slender thread, tugging at something inside me, something that had been silent for a long time. I didn't expect this to happen, this sudden intrusion that broke what I thought was a peaceful space. But as I stood there, the water pouring over me, I felt a strange connection, a tension that wasn't uncomfortable but fascinating. I wasn't sure I was ready. "Why are you here?" I asked him, my voice quieter than I'd intended, not reproachful, just curious. "I don't know," he answered. "I wanted to see you, to really be with you. I've been thinking about you a lot lately." His words surprised me, unexpected, simple but sincere enough to soften me. The vulnerability he showed was something I wasn't used to, and at that moment I realized that perhaps I was also vulnerable. Because instead of pushing him away, I felt curious and wanted to understand what had brought us to this point. The tension in the air was palpable but not suffocating. It was more like a question that we both had to answer together. I took a deep breath and decided to let go of my hesitation. "Just don't do anything I'm not used to," I said, my voice firm but gentle. His eyes softened and I could see respect in them. "Of course," he said softly. "Only if you want to." I nodded, and suddenly the space between us was filled with a feeling, not fear but something deeper, something that was beyond words but understood instinctively. He slowly moved closer and the steam swirled around us, creating a warm, intimate cocoon. Neither of us moved too quickly or spoke too much. We just stood there quietly in the silent space we had created. Without realizing it, the days after that night became different, not in a life-changing grand way but in a way I can't explain. There was a new understanding between us, not just in words but in the way we interacted with each other. The silence between us was no longer uncomfortable but full of a deeper understanding, a connection that didn't need to be defined. I didn't know how things would develop, and part of me didn't want to rush things. But at the same time, there was an undeniable attraction. He was always there, always behind the scenes, a constant presence that was both reassuring and exciting. One evening he invited me to dinner. I accepted, although I wasn't sure why. His gesture felt simple and important, as if we were building a relationship. As we sat at the table, I noticed his gaze lingering on me for a long time. It didn't feel disturbing but rather warm, and it made my heart beat faster. It was a strange feeling, especially since I had been so careful to protect my emotions for so many years. But his gaze gave me a sense of comfort. He respected my boundaries while at the same time giving me a glimpse into his inner world. "How are you doing?" he asked after a while. His voice was gentle, but his eyes were full of curiosity, making me feel as if I were being asked to open up in a way I had never experienced before. I paused to consider the question, then admitted that I had been trying to figure out what it all meant, who we were, what it was. His reply was calm, almost patient. "We don't have to figure it all out now. But whatever this is, I'm here for you." His words enveloped me like a blanket. I realized that I didn't need all the answers, that there was no rush. I just needed to be there with him, with myself. That night, lying in bed, I thought about how much had changed since he had walked into that room and how something so simple and so unexpected had managed to undo a thread I had never realized existed, waiting for me to pull it. For the first time in a long time I thought, maybe I don't have to spend my life alone. Maybe there really is someone who can truly understand me in a way that no one else can. It's funny how life changes quietly, without fanfare or warning. One minute you're going along with the rules, protecting yourself from hurt, and the next you're sharing something with another person and it feels like an awakening. The past few weeks had been full of little moments, connecting moments, quiet understandings, learning to trust again. One evening after dinner we found ourselves walking in the park. The soft light from the street lamps cast long shadows on the path. We didn't talk much at first. We didn't need to. "You've been thinking about it, haven't you?" he asked after a while, breaking the comfortable silence between us. I turned to look at him and he nodded, a smile creasing the corner of his mouth. "Yes." "About what happened between us?" I admitted. "It's strange. I don't want to rush things, but I don't want to avoid them either." He stopped walking and turned to face me. His expression grew serious. "I won't rush things and I won't pressure you. I just want to be with you without pressure. That's the simple truth. No pressure, no expectations. Just a connection that's slowly growing between us, finding its place little by little." I smiled and then I felt the weight of it all disappear. "I think I'm ready to see how this develops." His hand found mine, a small, simple gesture that says everything we want to say. At that moment, I knew that no matter what the future holds, I'm no longer alone.